I honestly don't remember meeting James Prince. What I do remember is like scenes from a movie, being in Houston, on our way to a nightclub, escorted by a motorcade, seas parting everywhere we went, waves, handshakes, all blatant signs of respect and admiration, and maybe even fear, to be honest. But it all equaled up to a man straight out of all my favorite movies about power, loyalty, and respect.
Boxing, my first love. Ever since childhood, I've been in love with the sport of boxing. Boxing was always my first love. Music just got in the way. When Floyd Mayweather has his mind made up, he moves quickly. It didn't take long for us to reach a deal. But when it came to business, Floyd Jr. wasn't being given the tools he needed to take him to the next level. That's where I came in.
What can you tell us about helping Floyd Mayweather with dangerous Houston manager Jay Prince? He's got a lot of fame, and Floyd needed you to fix that situation. What can you tell us about what happened there?
Well, we were at dinner one night, and I got a call that there was a disturbance in my gym. And Floyd apparently had asked us not to do a fight in October, but to do it in December after James Prince's contract with him had run out. So the disturbance in my gym was that some people came over with or without the knowledge of James Prince and proceeded to break a couple of heads of people in Mayweather's camp with baseball bats. And so the gym was splattered with blood. And Floyd came to my office the next day and he said, Prince wants his money from the fight that's coming up. So I said to Floyd, fine, if that's what you want, I'll write him a letter of credit. And Floyd said to me, Prince don't do no letters of credit. You better send the cash. So I wrote a check and I made a contract with Prince's lawyer, and he got paid the money that he said he was entitled to as Floyd's manager.
Well, had Floyd told you anything about him before this disturbance?
No, I had met Prince while he was Floyd's manager, and he conducted himself very businesslike, very well, and I've dealt with him since, and he's been a man of his word. So I have no complaint with James Prince. What the falling out was, if there was a falling out, that's between Floyd Mayweather and James Prince. And man, I haven't been in this business for 50 years, so I'm going to end up getting involved in their dispute. I mean, I'm too smart for that.
But what did Floyd say to you to get you to write a check for $600,000 just like that? Like, what specifically? Floyd was afraid, yes?
Well, you know, whether he was afraid or whether he was doing the right thing, that's for Floyd to determine. But this was the percentage of Floyd's purse that Prince would have been entitled to as his manager. The difficulty was that the check...
There was blood all over the gym and baseball bats. Like, what do you mean doing the right thing?
Hey,
like, he sounded afraid.
For some reason, I get the feeling that he thinks somebody's scared of him. You know what I mean? Bullies think that way. You know, he feel like he could say things to impose fear in men of God's heart. And I told him, men of God, we don't fear nothing, you know, because we know no weapon formed against us shall prosper. Because for some reason, I don't think he believed it, and I know Andre Ward don't need no help with him, you know, with the threats that he's making. He feel and felt like he wanted to hit Andre Ward in his head. And a word to the wise, to all of them that's listening. do what you're gonna do in the ring because you're in a place that's called town business. And we don't play them kind of games outside of the ring. So let's stay focused and attempt to try and hit him in the head in the ring because you're gonna have problems with that. But you have real big problems outside of the ring. So with that being said, I'm gonna take my seat. And I don't know if this manager, I mean, I respect you and everything you've done, but you know, Andre Ward team means something to him. When we speak, our words carry value. So for you to get up here and act like what we say don't mean nothing, maybe that's how I go on in Russia. But over in the United States of America, you know, we got value in what we say. So once again, United States of America shall be victorious, June the 17th, and no weapons formed against us shall prosper.
Looks as though he's looking for a breather.
At him now. Oh, there you go. You see his legs, he's done this fight.
Roman has a chance to knock him out with a minute still to go in the 8th round.
Body shot, he's hurt from the body shot, bad. Body shots.
Body shots and a left hook.
Yeah, he's
Kovalev in
hurting the body
big
shot.
trouble. Seconds to go in the round. Crowd rocking and rolling. Ward, like the smart finisher that he is, trying to go to the body, and Tony Weeks is going to stop the fight. Stopping the fight in the 8th round as a sustained body attack from Andre Ward continued. Kovalev never went to the canvas.
Kovalev looked like he was looking for...
Hurt him. He acted like it was a low blow. Most fighters know that if a guy acts like that's a low blow, that shot right there on the chin hurt though. That buckled his...
To survive, and as he looked for space in the ring and looked for a chance to get away after that right hand, which you had already seen once, here's what Ward did. Body. Missing over the top to the head. And now, watch these body shots that ultimately sealed the deal. And look at the effort that Ward puts into every body shot. Boom. Boom. And Tony Weeks says, I've seen enough.
Tell us what you saw tonight. What did Andre
I seen greatness, man. I seen greatness. I seen somebody that studied the tapes, showed up and showed out, did his job. Andre Ward shots.
James Prince, what goes through your mind right now? Andre Ward stopped Kovalev.
Oh man, it's beautiful. I said this before the fight started. Everybody laughed at me. But here it is. 40 water.
He stopped him.
Oh, look here, boy.
Congratulations.
Town business.
Town business for real.
Town business. That's all it is.
Boxer fans, Chris Roberts here, respected manager James Prince. Headlines, everybody's talking about the 50 Cent said, hey, he wanted that Andre Durrell fight with Andre Ward. You even offered to match him, man. What are your thoughts on that, man?
Oh, man, I mean, it's a time and a place for everything, you know. And as I told 50, that 20 million that he claimed he want to bet, we can bet that ASAP.